Good evening and thanks for joining us. You're watching The 9 at Night. I'm Patty Santos. It's the footage we first showed you at 5 o'clock. An Edgewood School District police officer using his knee to pin down a teenager by the neck. The incident happened in November in a parking lot less than a block from Kennedy High School. It also happened after the teenager repeatedly punched the officer. Now, even though the student appears far from innocent in all of this, the controversial technique has been banned by many police departments because it is often restricts the breathing of the person being restrained.
There's two officers on top of him and he's already restrained, and that's what matters.
Edgewood ISD officials have not named the officer or said much about the incident, only that they are investigating what happened. San Antonio police are investigating what led up to a deadly semi-truck crash. It happened around 12:30 this afternoon on the southbound 410 ramp at I-35. Now, according to police, the driver of the 18-wheeler lost control, causing it to flip on its side and burst into flames. A passenger inside was killed. However, officers were able to rescue the driver. Two San Antonio police officers are on administrative duty after shooting a man at a Westside motel. This happened last night on Culebra Road near Northwest 18th Street, not far from Woodlawn Lake. Now, officers were called out for a man who was reportedly waving a gun at people at the luxury inn. They did not find him at first, so they left. And when they were called again about 2 hours later, they were told he went into his motel room.
One officer walked up, the other officer stayed in the parking lot, knocked on the door. First thing that came out of the door was the gun.
Police say the officer shot the man. At last check, he is in critical condition. Both officers have been on the force for 6 years. They are now on administrative duty. SAPD says body cam footage of the shooting has not yet been reviewed. The bar where the District 10 Councilman Clayton Perry drank before he was involved in a hit-and-run crash is now under investigation. The TABC says agents are looking into the Evil Olive for allegations of over-serving, but there are no findings right now. Perry allegedly got into a car crash just 30 minutes after leaving the bar. An arrest affidavit says Perry drank 14 drinks in 4 hours at that bar. He was officially charged with DWI last month and is currently on leave from City Council. Now, tonight on the Nightbeat, the potential punishment the Evil Olive could face if TABC finds evidence of any wrongdoing. Tonight, a teenager is behind bars in connection to a deadly shooting of another teenager last month. Bexar County Jail records show 19-year-old Fernando Canedo is charged with the murder of Luis Garcia. An arrest warrant says Canedo can be seen on security video following Garcia's SUV, and shots were heard. The warrant also says Canedo was found with a gunshot wound to his face and stomach. Now, he told officers he was robbed on his way to the gym. Messages on Garcia's phone showed he told Canedo to meet him. A motive has not been released. Canedo's bond is set at $250,000. Video of an unusual looking fire at Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery is going viral online. This video was taken Tuesday and shared on TikTok. Now, you can see flames lit up in the form of a circle surrounding several headstones. The San Antonio Fire Department tells us they were called to the cemetery Tuesday night for a grass fire. Crews arrived to find 37 headstones affected and about 200 plots. Now, most of the headstones were covered in soot. According to SAFD, there did not seem to be any real damage. Now, as for the cause, they believe it was started by a candle that was lit and likely left unattended. Well, it has felt a little bit more like spring rather than winter these days, but how long will it last? Let's get a quick check of your forecast with meteorologist Adam Caskey.
A bit of fog will greet us early tomorrow morning, 48 degrees, but sunshine will warm us into the mid-70s by the afternoon. So a clearing sky, bit of a breeze out of the south, at times gusting up to 20 miles per hour. That's going to boost the humidity. You'll notice the mugginess on Saturday. With it, drizzle, sprinkles, fog, overall dampness, but not really adding up to much. Just nuisance moisture on your Saturday. Saturday night into early Sunday, a few real showers are possible, but only a 30% chance, so isolated in nature and odds favor locations east of San Antonio. By Sunday, 68 the high, and then next week, it's back to what we've been used to. Mornings in the 40s and afternoons in the 70s.
All right, well, heads up. Here's a traffic trouble spot you're going to want to avoid tomorrow. TxDOT says Loop 1604 at Gold Canyon will be closed in both directions starting at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. That closure runs until Monday morning. Now, crews will be working on bridge repairs following a crash last week. TxDOT says 281 connector ramps to eastbound Loop 1604 will also be closed. You're going to have to use frontage road, and if you can't avoid the area, well, then just expect delays. Voting is expected to continue tomorrow in the U.S. House, marking a fourth day of votes for House Speaker. So far, lawmakers have voted 11 times, but talks continue between Republican leader Kevin McCarthy and the group of members holding up the vote. 20 conservative members refused to support McCarthy, even with attempts to make new deals, including an offer to change the House rules. One potential rule change would reportedly allow a single lawmaker to force a vote to remove him.
One of our three branches of government offline right now. That is a very dangerous thing for our country, and it cannot continue much longer.
Now, representatives on the opposing side question the unity of the House Republicans. This standstill stops lawmakers' abilities to do the work the American people elected them to do. The House is expected to reconvene at 11 tomorrow. Turning now to news on the jobs front. Unemployment claims have fallen to their lowest point since September. That's according to new data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The agency says about 204,000 people applied for first-time unemployment benefits last week. Claims for people who have received benefits for more than 1 week also dropped. Many economists have feared the Federal Reserve's inflation-fighting efforts could throw the economy into a recession and lead to massive layoffs. But so far, the labor market appears to be staying resilient. The Food and Drug Administration ramping up the efforts in the fight against RSV. The agency is currently reviewing an application for an antibody that could help prevent the respiratory virus in infants. The preservative would be the first of its kind antibody to help protect against the RSV in infants in their first year of life. While it can be mild for many children and most adults, studies show it's the leading cause of hospitalizations in all infants. What will they think of next? You can't help but ask when you see the thousands of robots and gadgets unveiled at the Consumer Electronics Show. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz shows us what's new and what's next.
Innovation, some of it pretty quirky, is on display. This is the massive CES, the Consumer Electronics Show. Sure, robots are fun, but the main theme is serious.
And that's technology that's being used to solve some of the world's biggest challenges,
such as food supplies. John Deere unveiled a robotic fertilizer. It reduces costs and chemicals. For the home turf, though, there's this dandy robot. It roams your lawn and kills weeds. There are even smart lawn sprinklers. Here's a bright idea, Nanoleaf's smart light switch.
It learns your light habits, and so it knows when you want it dark, it knows when you need it bright.
And you don't lift a finger. TVs are getting smarter too, and now LG is out with a big 4K screen that's totally wireless. Even the bath mat has gone smart.
You stand on it, and it does a full body analysis.
There are plenty of gadgets and gizmos for cars, like this Nextbase IQ Smart Dash Cam. One camera points out, the other in.
If it senses sound or motion while you're not there, you'll get alerted on your cell phone. And then the camera turns on and you can see what's happening.
For parents, how about a self-driving stroller? And this product is a real talker, the Time Kettle.
These are real-time translating earbuds.
One for your ear, one for the other person, and you can converse in 40 languages. And for parents who don't know why the baby is crying, there's a smart translator for that, too. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
All right, well, coming up tonight on the Nightbeat, after earning health scores in the 70s, 2 local restaurants had multiple violations on their plates. Their cleanup efforts when we go behind the kitchen door. Plus, 2023 marks the beginning of a new Texas legislature and the debate over a $27 billion surplus. The spending priorities for lawmakers and taxpayers heading into next week. That is coming up tonight on the Nightbeat. And we're out of time. The 9 at Night returns tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.